Ben, I mean, you're so versatile, but one thing too is with your pitches. So besides your role, with your pitches, you're quite versatile. Let's start with your grips. What do
Yeah.
you show the young kids and how to run
Yeah.
it?
So primarily four seam fastball, even spread with my fingers, and I try to keep my thumb tucked under the ball to stay, kind of behind it a little bit better, stay true. Next would be curveball, pretty traditional grip, and kind of thinking through ripping through that seam with my middle finger with some pressure through my ring finger. My bread and butter, which is my slider. So kind of similar to the curveball, using and leveraging the seams and, keeping my thumb more on the side of the ball to kind of help me stay through it a little bit longer. And then cutter is really just an offset four seam. And I think just the idea of kind of getting through the ball a little bit longer, really focusing on like an aggressive finish to like kind of let me supinate through the ball.
With the four seam fastball, command. When did you learn the importance of commanding a fastball?
I think this year.
Really?
I think for the most part, I think when I'm in a good place mechanically, I've always kind of relied on, like the ride of it, the spin rate, everything to kind of carry through the top of the zone. But I think as the league starts to adjust, figure you out, have, more of just a body of work to kind of figure out, where is this guy throwing it for the most part. I've seen a lot more success when I'm able to get the ball into righties. And I think too, it's hard to cover a pitch moving away from them on the outside corner and then also, covering the top end of the zone in. So for me, I think the more you can play around with your fastball command, I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for swing and miss with pitches that I want to go to more often.
So there's command and there's grips. Now let's talk about finishes. Are you one of the guys that breaking ball, you have to see a part of your hand come through, your foot landing over it? What are the keys
Yeah.
for you in a breaking ball?
For me, on the breaking ball, it's really just, I think staying connected through my throw and making sure that the arm speed's able to kind of accelerate through the end of the throw. And that's going to kind of create that, that bite or, kind of just the nastiness down through the zone. And I can tell pretty quickly every day I'm throwing, like if I need to, finish a little bit more aggressively or stay a little bit more patient behind the ball. But for me, I think it's really just arm speed and kind of keeping everything connected and not get, kind of detached with my upper body and lower body.
Tell the youngsters, what are those connections? What are your liners? What are the things you're looking at?
Yeah, for me, I think it's kind of keeping this back shoulder and head kind of behind my back hip. And again, too, I think mechanically over at least the last couple of years, it's been primarily focused on being able to hold external rotation with my back hip. So for me, I've in the past when things aren't really, connected or it's not just flowing perfectly and I kind of have to, go out there and grind, I feel like it's mostly coming from just getting a little bit jumpy out of my backside. And that's where it's kind of hard to stay through the ball and feel connected. So that's the main point for me is just being able to feel connected through my hip and kind of that backside and my head over that back hip to, kind of accelerate through the ball.
Next is your very unique way that you load up because you slide your foot
Yeah.
on the rubber. Where did that come from, and how much did it take you to even realize that you're doing it?
Yeah, I think for me it's just a timing mechanism. I think it's just being relaxed and kind of just flowing through, the movements of getting down the mound. So I think the toe taps varies on certain days. I don't put a lot into really how I'm moving in that way, but it kind of helps me like get up into like a steady flow and feel smooth down the mound.
Okay, so how many times does anybody say, you know what, you just can't pitch like that. You're not going to get to the big leagues?
I don't think one person. I don't think one person. The only thing I am conscious of is just making sure that when I do go up into my leg lift, my foot's in the same spot at the whole time. So I'm starting on one end and I'm going towards. I usually try to have my heel on the farthest side of first base and start that way, and then I know at least I'm getting to the same spot every single time. But for the most part, I haven't really deviated away from just keeping that like smooth flow.
All right, more fun stuff. What is a perfect off day during the season for you?
I would say, assuming it's in LA, probably going to the beach, getting a good dinner out by the water, and just relaxing would be an ideal day.
What's the playlist like?
It varies. So I think it's been more country recently with summer, but I think for the most part, probably rap and like R&B and I think a little bit of EDM mixed in there too.
Here's the last thing. There's so many superstars. future Hall of Famers. You got Kirsch, you got Freddie, you got Mookie. I mean, there's so many guys, right? Great culture in here. What is it like for a young guy to say, they've accepted me the way I am, and I'm learning because this could actually further prepare my career just by learning from them?
For sure. I think you kind of nailed it on the head. I'm so fortunate every day to be able to, come in here, and it doesn't matter if I'm, watching how Kirsch goes about his day, Mookie, Freddie. I think all of them are a really, really good example of what it takes to be great. So, I'll watch Freddie take BP. He won't pull a single ball, and then the game rolls around. He gets a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in, and he hits it into the second deck in right field, and you don't see him, just pulling off the ball in BP like that. He has a plan, and then when it's time to kind of speed things up, it kind of translates into the game. And same thing with Mook, but those guys have figured out, at a young age how to prepare for a game. Less is more, and every single day they show up and they're the same guy. So it's been a blessing for me to be able to learn from those guys, and honestly, just watch. I think that's the biggest thing. You can learn a lot, in the big leagues, just watching guys and how they approach things and how they approach the game, what their conversations are like with catchers, with, how Kirsch talks to Will or Dalton, how, Freddie and Mookie are preparing with our hitting coaches and game planning. So they have a really, insightful way of looking at the game. And I think that comes with experience, and, it's rubbed off on me for sure early on in my career.
I cannot let you go on this one. Dodger Stadium, taking the mound in that cathedral. What is that like for a young player?
It's amazing. I think for me, the biggest part is just slowing myself down a little bit. But it's great. I think we lead baseball in attendance, and it makes a lot of sense, obviously. But you feel the fans behind you. I know that obviously I have my teammates behind me, but it's a special experience every single time out. Whether it's starting a game, saving a game, coming in the middle of the game, it's you feel the energy every time out.
Muchas gracias. Arigato gozaimasu. How's your Japanese?
Not good. Not good. It needs work. So we're gonna have to mix in another trip to Japan at some point. But thank you.
I'm in. Take me this time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good, man.